IVM.
कृपया ध्यान दीजिए, the language used on the podcast may not be fit for consumption. We warn you, tread carefully. But listen yaar, don't be so conservative. Alright, welcome. The show is called Cock and Bull. I say welcome for no reason whatsoever because nobody really wants to be greeted, especially with this show. However, before we meet our guests, I want to quickly mention something which is, I think, beneficial to Indian men. You may not know this, but the world's smallest penis amongst all primates is the silverback gorilla. He has only a 1-inch penis on his 400-pound frame. That's 400 pounds of muscle, real muscle, and just a 1-inch. That's when he's fully aroused. Of course, God knows how little it is before that. But that's all he has, and that's all he uses. And he has a harem. That guy works with that little bit and does a lot.
Janice, what do you think couples did before TV was invented?
I don't know, go for walks on the beach, long drives, fancy dinners, have more sex maybe?
But what did we do when we decided to move in together? We debated between the Chromecast and the Fire Stick.
We gave up on sleeping early so we could stay up watching true crime shows.
We got ourselves 3 cat babies.
And basically became the cutest couch potatoes around.
Okay then.
In case you guys still haven't got it, we are a TV crazy, Netflix loving, binge watching Mr. and Mrs.
I'm Anirudh Kuha.
I'm Janice Sequeira.
And if like us, you snort TV for breakfast, lunch and dinner, this is the podcast for you.
Tune in every Thursday on the IVM podcast app or wherever it is that you get your podcast from. This is
Mr.
and Mrs.
Binge Watch.
So Kunal, as I welcome you to the show, I want to tell you not to worry. See, there's good in everything. Look at nature and get inspiration and feel better about yourself. Kunal joins us.
But why has Cyrus seen me naked? That is the question.
I had no choice, poverty. We had to room together. But let me quickly introduce Gauri because that, raises the show after the debacle of you and me. Gauri Devidayal, after a long time, welcome back. Our show is still called Cock and Bull. It's all rubbish as usual, but hopefully you'll give us some insights into the world of, restauranteur world, which has sort of collapsed, but now is back. And let's hope we can all eat in peace very quickly. So Gauri, welcome to the show. And now for 2 minutes, explain why you love Arnab Goswami.
I'll pass. I have no words. You've left me speechless.
Not a salad eater, are you? Okay. Amit Doshi, our president, permanent president-elect, he's a bit like the Gandhi family. We can't outvote him. He stays there. Khushbu comes and goes. We'll come to that topic. I'm dying to do that topic about Khushbu defecting. But before that, the main story that we have here is, I think, both cinemas and to some extent restaurants are open. So it's not quite business as usual, but at least there's hope for fatsos like me and Kunal. Kunal, how many times a week do we eat out normally before this?
Normally at least 3 times a week.
At least 3 times a week with our limited finances. And in the glory days, sometimes 5-6 times, counting the nights.
Yeah, and lunches and dinners both we used to do. And that was the time.
We have customers that Gauri could kill for.
You need to make new friends.
No.
If you're having...
You've not understood the whole concept of... Gauri, social distancing. We cannot have friends now. Friendship is over as a concept. We can just be casual acquaintances or scootsie and that kind of thing where they can hand you bags. And I think that's the best relationship of all. Your life is in a parcel. That's the future. But now listen, jokes apart, let's talk about the fact that you guys struggled for 7-8 months. Unfairly, I would say I'm on your side. I think they should have given the restaurateurs a better chance. In any case, you're fighting this tide of COVID and people's negative thinking, etc., etc. So let's hear your side of the story.
I think the Alibag internet is gone.
We're having Alibag internet issues.
Oh, wow.
Are you serious?
No, now we can hear you.
Wait. No. I fixed it.
You can fix it? I drove 12 kilometers. You can fix it. For those who didn't understand that, and I don't know if we've retained this, but this is the second time we're attempting to record this. Well, I did mine from Fort in Mumbai and couldn't get any Wi-Fi after 10 minutes. And now we're doing this take 2. Gauri has disappeared, but she's in Alibag, which is understandable. It's supposed to be a town, not quite a city.
Yeah, it's a little different. Though, I mean, the internet's the internet, man. I mean, when it works flawlessly. When it doesn't work, it's just the most frustrating thing in the world. There's this classic cartoon, right, about basically what is more frustrating, no internet or a little internet, right? No internet is fine. I can live with no internet.
You have to ask the female gorillas the same question.
But a little internet
I'm here.
Okay.
You always come back at the most ridiculously bad time in terms of what we're talking about.
I have to elevate the conversation.
You have to. Please. Please. Gravitas.
Look, okay, so just back to the real world. It's been a crazy 7 months, and we finally got the go ahead to reopen. But I think, just looking at what's been happening around the world for a second, I definitely feel that government could have done a lot more to prop this industry, which frankly gives employment to over 70 lakh people.
And pleasure? What about the pleasure part?
There is that as well.
Yes.
No small feat. And I think, but it is what it is. And today we've got the go ahead now to reopen. So that's basically what we're waiting for. But you are going to see some changes in restaurants, I'm sure, whether it's menus, whether it's, the whole social distancing and all of that. But I think people are itching to get back is what I'm sensing.
Hey, what's the deal with I heard some people want to use plastics or tear away, what are the throwaway forks and spoons made of throwaway stuff?
Forget plastic. We actually got approached by one of our suppliers to say they will make one-time use stainless steel crockery for us, which matches our existing
What a waste.
And I know. And I was just like, I have no idea what you're on about. But
how is stainless steel one-time use anyway, right? I mean, like what?
No, so it comes in a sealed pouch, like you would get and so you have the comfort that it's been whatever sterilized and sanitized.
So you think because you're opening something, you presume.
Exactly.
But honestly, if you're washing your dishes in soap and water, if it is good for your hands, it's good for the dishes. Why would
the point is that between the dishwash and your table, all sorts of things can happen.
The 7 people who may have touched it will upset some people. But maybe they can go and get their own cutlery. You can have like a cutlery. There must be another way to do it. And because
the other way to do it is just kind of, live with it. So we're going to just keep like oodles of sanitizer on the table and you can sanitize your entire
Gauri,
with it.
Forgive me if I'm wrong, but you, Kunal and Amit are Hindus. Don't you all eat with your hands?
No. We eat with our fingers.
Bloody English educated friggin' St. Mary's monkey. I can't believe it. Yeah. But these little things do push us back a little bit. I get irritated when I see cardboard forks and spoons and plastic forks. I mean, I break them firstly to begin with. It's like they just feel a little unclassy coming from me. But really, and you think you're on a flight or something, which is the worst cutlery ever.
I mean, like at certain restaurants, that would not be the way that you'd want to eat it, right? I mean, like but again, and a part of the thing is you want to get back to some degree of normalcy, going to these places and eating with plastic forks and knives. I mean, like, that just seems like...
It's all part of the comfort, having the old stuff, the old way.
Can I?
Yeah.
Can I?
Can you stop scratching? Is distracting, Gauri.
It's an audio medium. 7 months later...
Your scratching can be heard.
7 months later... scientists know more about this virus, and they've already proved that it does not pass through touch and through food.
Correct.
We no longer sanitize our parcels that come from outside.
That was really stupid.
I really hope more people are listening to this podcast.
Because if you follow the science,
that drift, because that's not that information. I don't think has passed through.
No, it's not. People don't listen also, right? I mean, like, I know that this is the case. I have studied at home, this is the case. But still, everything has to come home and the package has to be sprayed with like some sanitizer thing and left aside for 2 hours before we open it. So even if you know, nobody's going to listen.
I mean, it's a bit like how bitchy gossip sticks, in the famous Mark Antony speech, the good is often interred with their bones. The negative stuff stays with you.
Yeah.
Even negative stuff has been reported from February, March, has been retained by everyone. Yeah. So Kunal is absolutely right, I think. When it comes to cleaning those dishes and, and sanitizing everything, I mean, I can't tell you what my mother goes through. I keep bringing her up, but she's driving me mad. Okay, because that conservative paranoia that some people have, because every negative piece of information, proved or not proved, has been swallowed and retained forever. And it's going to stay. And it's just
like Republic TV.
I've lost my appetite. What have you done? We're discussing food. I'm going to get the old charm back, go to the table, order what you want, get the old cutlery.
You need to intervene again.
Really? What is that guy on? What does he eat?
Good
question.
Must
be eating the cutlery. It's gone absolutely out of control. Really.
But listen, let me ask you, would you venture out to restaurants now?
We're going. Saturday we're going.
Yes.
Yeah, we fixed a date.
Okay, great. So that's what I mean. Like, I think people are keen to get back to some semblance of normalcy and
also, Gauri, there are your go-to places all over the world, People have these 4-5, it's almost like therapy. You need to go to those go-to places, whether it's your club or whether it's your 2-3 restaurants that you always visit. I mean, or cafes or coffee shops, whatever. I think people, that's part of your life.
No, I was chatting with a friend who lives in New York, and he was saying that it's already impossible to get reservations. So, I guess it's with limited capacity. So New York was already tough, and, with limited capacity, that's just...
So let's talk about that economics for a second then, with whatever 50% or 30%, whatever they finally agree to. Can you run the business, or is that just like something to do for the first month and hope it gets better?
It's pretty much that. I think you just have to start, right? So it's not really, you don't have a choice. You can't say, I'll wait till it's 100% and then start. Landlords don't wait around. So,
Gauri, don't you feel that if the government had relaxed certain rules, okay? Like you at cable, you have a full pavement over there. If you were being allowed to bring your tables and chairs out,
and the weather will get better now next
month. Food, the government said, okay, we just might allow you to be on the pavement, but in this case, we should do it,
100%, Kunal. You're absolutely spot on. I mean, I know like Rahul did it on the last weekend at...
but he's in private property, so he can do it.
Exactly. So, but the point is that the feeling of that, and I think, the fact that people had that choice was incredible, and, it would turn the city around, honestly, to be able to have outdoor dining.
I think you'll have more customers feeling more comfortable with that. Those who are in the middle and not fully sure, I think they would be, and then you see people there, that gives you confidence, I think, after some time.
We don't really have any outdoor dining, do we? I'm just trying to think of any.
No, it's not allowed. It's not permitted.
That's not fair. Just yesterday, I shared outdoor dining with this guy who knocked on the traffic signal at Churchgate. I gave him a biscuit, gave it back to me and said, Kamal hai or something, and got angry. Mutual fucking funds, fuckhead. We're all dying here with no jobs and he wants me to invest in him. Yeah, give him a biscuit and that's it. Yeah.
And even, honestly, even if there is a bit of roadside, look, street side, I'm sorry to bring this up, but the Gujarati community loves eating on the street, eating on the road and eating outside the house. That is why status was so packed. Again, on private property rather, okay? But...
So are you for or against?
I'm for, but you can't still have a drink on the street. Like you could have a glass of wine in France.
No, listen, we're a long way from this.
One step at a time.
Really? Rainy is classic famous of Shaolin. Exactly. Go right to the 36 chamber. You're a martial arts expert.
Let's get food available outside first.
Let's go to
the chairs available.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get there first, right? Then we can worry about alcohol.
A table, since Gauri's here, let's just talk about table for a second. It's got a lovely locale. If you look at it, if it's lit properly and less people, which right now it is, you've got the gateway, you've got the buildings are pretty around.
That promenade outside.
Promenade. Why can't they use that bloody promenade? Why can't all you restaurants use that promenade? They can all get sections like you get when you go to an airport and 5-6 share an area.
What a good idea that is.
Seriously.
I mean, it would be stunning. It would be the most sought after seat in the city.
And November, December, Jan, Feb, you've got decent weather, well, decent-ish, and we'll live with that, yeah?
Absolutely. I mean, God,
I could bring the romance back into my marriage if I can take somebody else's wife to the promenade and have a drink. Damn it. So all these ideas are copyrighted. Gauri, if you do them, we talk to my lawyers. Amit, we have lawyers, right?
We have more lawyers than we would ever want to have.
Okay, we got too many lawyers. Kunal, you want a lawyer?
Well, free, I'm happy.
2 plain chicken tikka, 1 lawyer free. Come on.
But so, Gauri, I mean, we've been shut for as long as we've been shut, right? 7 months and such. What do you think of this whole delivery, I guess, mini boomlet, if you will, right? I mean, like Cyrus is ordering food to his house from Swiggy, which is like an unimaginable circumstance 6 months ago.
Okay, that's me and my technology, but the kids aren't like me. But Kunal, for example, being a single male, I shudder to think, not now, but March, April, May was horrible.
It was horrible.
You would have died without Swiggy.
Horrible. And I threw caution to the wind and I said, whatever happens, whatever people are saying, I will bring food into my house.
Yeah, otherwise you starve.
No.
That was the option.
Outside.
If you go with it, just die.
And
did you clean the bartans and all that in the beginning?
I washed all the utensils.
Parcels,
I learned how to sweep and swab. I had to actually call my maid up and say, washing machine kaisa chalu karne ka? Which button to press.
In that exact
But I learned
by
it
Hindi
all.
accent.
I
Gauri,
learned
repeat
it
it. Washing machine kaisa chalu karne ka?
But I think Zomato, Swiggy, I know they're not very happy names from a lot of restaurateurs today, but they've done very well. I think restaurants which have a pure takeaway setup, like Mr. Chow's, which is buying local Chinese.
He's plugging his cousin, Rahul Welkar.
I know.
Mr. Chow. Yeah? And this is Gauri's show. This is Gauri's show. I mean, who does that? It's like, you get the Indian ambassador and talk about how beautiful Pakistan is. Like that. Yeah.
No, but they because they have a pure takeaway format. And
A dark kitchen. Yeah.
They just got lucky, like all the delivery sort of.
They did really well.
But listen, look, delivery is here to stay. It's not going anywhere, and I think that's great. I think that it got its due recognition now. That, but it's also going to mean that I think people are going to be, I hope, looking more into what goes behind the delivery kitchen, and I mean, just because you can't sit there doesn't mean you shouldn't care if it's clean or not. So. I think delivery is definitely here to stay. There's going to be great options coming. It's low cost. It's lower cost rather. It's not low cost. It's lower capital intense than opening a restaurant. And today, when there's so much uncertainty about vaccines and footfall and whatnot, a delivery kitchen definitely seems like a smart way forward. So we've got a couple of, delivery kitchens, and that's essentially what kept.
So what I say, Gauri, is even the higher players like yourself and other people will have to get into the delivery business as well.
Well, they have. Restaurants that were never doing delivery started doing it during lockdown. So, and it's never the same as the restaurant. It's, certain foods just don't travel well.
Yeah.
To live with that, man. So,
Beja masala, limpia, you're opposite you. It just doesn't taste well when you pack it and bring it home.
Exactly.
But look, Gauri has done it with Magazine Street Kitchen. Okay, you combined it with.
But that's the thing, Kunal. Like that works for delivery, right? Like iktara, like a biryani.
Butter chicken, yeah.
What do you call that? Fast Indian food.
But even you and Amrinder had to tweak her menu, iktara menu, to make it user-friendly for takeaway.
Absolutely. Huh? Not just the menu, even packaging, right? Like, we had to tweak that because we were like, if it comes all like, I don't know, like soaked in oil or whatever.
Yeah, no, that's... But, I've got to say, packaging across the board from every place that I've been ordering from has improved dramatically.
They realize that
people pay attention to it now, right? Which they were not.
But can I just say one thing? Because again, this is to even those 15 people listening in today.
Mean! You're allowed to say that. Be self-deprecating. But when the guest doesn't...
I'm here, right? I'm here.
Donald Trump
is not
is different from you making fun of Donald Trump.
Listen, it's 5 more than the people listening to my show.
Exactly. Gauri, what's the name of your show? Gauri, what's the name of your show again?
This round. No, Kunal, you're not with it. It's This Round is on me.
She's got a new show.
This round is on me, Kunal.
Oh my God, I just got one more listener, Kunal, because you're going to tune in right after we finish.
I will.
I would do it just because I presume that it is literal.
You're so clever, Cyrus.
Hardly the way to go at this time, though, business-wise.
You're only getting around on a podcast. That's as far as it goes.
Podcast will come back to save you. Don't worry.
But listen, no, wait. I have to say this. So, guys, and Kunal and I had a whole conversation about this a while ago. Please support restaurants having their own ordering platform, since we're talking about delivery. Like, Swiggy, Zomatos of the world are not the best for restaurants right now. You need to just support restaurants and order from them directly if you can and if they have that facility.
Okay, so let me just get this clear. What you're saying is forget about the whale. We'll deal with the tiger later. The girl child, there's other people doing that. Let's save the restaurant.
Exactly.
I'm with you. At last, something I care about. I'm with you. 100%. Mr. Doshi, if we get into trouble, we have lawyers. Even one away. Yeah.
Some lawyers.
So does Magazine Kitchen and Table deliver themselves? You have your own riders and all?
Yes. So, basically this whole period has been a matter of pivots and evolving and creativity. And we basically, you'll have someone who was previously a valet or previously a security guard.
Evolve, an evolution happens in the chain.
Now become a rider, and because delivery is the name of the game, right? So, and they
and work is work.
Yeah. So if you had a bike and you can read a Google map, then hop on and...
so Kunal, you have an advantage over me because you can read a Google map, you can do Uber.
And you can ride a bike?
I can ride a bike.
Oh my God, what, two of you all on a bike to do this?
We did that once.
I will order every day.
The bike didn't start once Kunal sat on it, I remember. It was 100 cc's, remember? Yeah. All right, let's get back to Gauri and the pain of the restaurant business. But let's look positively now. If so-called vaccine comes in, if the world gets better in the next 2, 3, 4 months, you think there'll be a reverse effect? Like, like you pull the rubber band and then it goes the other way. So you've had people starving for social company, good fine dining, food, etc. You think people just charge and there'll be like a glut and rush of people coming to eat and drink?
Vaccine or no vaccine, when the CM's announcement came out, we literally had reservations, like calls the next minute. People were like, so are you open? And I was like, he just tweeted like 30 seconds ago.
That's all the BJP.
Not been waiting at the stove, like waiting to just turn it on, waiting for that tweak for the last 7 months. So, going by that, I think people are going to get out. And honestly, like election or no election in the US, I don't think any vaccines coming out anytime soon. So, hey, just sort of deal with it and get on with it. So, of course, when it's out, it's going to help infinitely. But, what they're saying is that even that...
So I've got the time period wrong. I agree with you. We have no idea about this vaccine. And distribution of the vaccine is another whole devil. So we won't get into that. But let's say a year, whatever it takes. I'm saying, do you think that we'll go the other way? Like we spent a year in prison. We spent a year without having fun. We've had birthday parties online.
You mean?
Exactly. The Zoom dates, birthday parties, Zoom anniversaries,
So this article in Vogue that Gauri is part of, Zorawar says that there will be revenge consumption.
That's what I mean. Exactly that.
Revenge consumption. People will aggressively go out saying, like Cyrus and me actually are aggressively wanting to go out and eat somewhere,
Yeah.
We're actually very supportive on an emotional note, Gauri. Sorry to interrupt. We are very supportive I'll tell you why. Because people like us and Amit, to that extent, being a single male, we live off the bloody food of Mumbai, How can we deny that? Since our teens, whether it's roadside food or fine dining, if you do better in life or whatever, we eaten everywhere. So I almost feel like I've betrayed the restaurant. So I'm dying for you guys to open properly and, to jump in everywhere.
Look, everyone has their own reasons, but I definitely think that people are itching to get out. So which is why it's even more important for us to get it right when we reopen, because, if we don't have all our sort of ducks in a row and, that'll backfire.
What are the kind of things that you're doing over there? Right? What kind of...
They keep a COVID area where COVID patients can eat separately. We have a caste system anyway. Brahmin, COVID, non-Brahmin, non-COVID. It might work, Amit. I don't know if it works. It might work. Our country is a prejudiced country. Find a prejudice and it works.
No. So I'm that 100%. Now we started seeing people hiding the fact that they might be sick.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to. It's just as
now.
And I just hope we don't get any of those like unmasked rebels who refuse.
No, but that you can refuse to serve them and send them out.
Exactly. But that's not exactly a fun thing to do in the middle of a...
I know.
But
what if you know the person?
To be honest,
it'll probably be a person you know.
How are you going to eat with a mask on?
No, not that you eat with it on, but that you even enter and you refuse to wear one just sort of when you...
I think
your comedy and your horror are exactly the same now. It's driving me nuts.
Once you sit at the table, you're with your own people, you should take off your mask, no?
No, but at least when you enter, when you're around, when I think it's fair to sort of, when you're not eating and sitting at the table and you're...
I have one suggestion, okay? Everybody's talking about menus which are now going to be digital. iPad.
Please talk about this. No.
Blackboards. Please, blackboards if at all.
No.
Blackboards. So you keep writing on it.
No, what we're going to do is that, we will have the option for those who are more tech savvy than present company. And
first joke of the show and it goes to Gauri. We've got a match on.
Those to use their devices, but we will have, paper menus on sort of which can be like the recycled paper, etc. But, the thing is that I have to say this, the whole idea of contactless dining as it's become known is it's sort of a jarring thought. It's not something that I condone at all because you can't do away with that human interaction, guys.
Of course not.
Yes,
it's a percentage game. Let's face it.
No, and if you want to do away with the human interaction...
Who's going to upsell stuff, right? Like at the end of the day. So, jokes apart, there's so many questions that happen when you are ordering, right? Do you want your steak medium? Do you want it rare? Do you want, people want to have a conversation about what wine to pick. I mean, at the end of the day, if you've made a decision to come to a restaurant, you're already like halfway there, But
it's the fun. It's also the fun of going to a restaurant,
Exactly.
being
You're not coming there to
exactly.
by yourself in a corner and have no social interaction, right? So firstly,
correct.
Or you can do it like McDonald's and point to a board. I mean, that's as ridiculous as you can get, but that's stupid,
No, you can do it at McDonald's, but then that doesn't quite work for us.
Correct.
So,
I agree with you. You just do what you want. Don't worry.
To get into specifics, will your waiters be wearing gloves?
Yes.
Why?
Because...
Isn't it safer to wash hands and wear gloves?
No, they will, but they can't wash hands. So we.
No, but they're not going to wash the gloves. He's got a point there, right? The glove is an extension of the hand.
No, they're going to change their gloves at a certain frequency. So we've got this.
Just wash the hands.
To wash hands.
Gauri, forget these gloves. These gloves, firstly, they look like sissies. I've never liked gloves.
No. So this is what I'm saying. All the things that the restaurateurs are going to bring in.
So can I ask you would not feel more comfortable seeing, because I have to actually ask you this. So when we started doing, posting pictures of what was happening in our delivery kitchen when we first started the delivery in lockdown, people used to go mental if there was anyone in the photograph who wasn't wearing gloves, and they literally went berserk. And I was like, do you really think that at every point from the time the food is the supplier brings the veggies in to the time it comes to your doorstep, there's someone who's been wearing clean gloves the whole way? No way. So I mean, once we get that out of the way, I actually feel like whether it satisfies the purpose or not, there's a huge amount of mental comfort that comes from someone
it's for the mind.
We have to kind of recognize that.
I don't know. I'm old-fashioned. I like them to taste my food and then give it to me.
That'll happen.
I want them to absolutely run their tongue all over the steak. If steak is still allowed in Maharashtra, I have no idea. Is it, by the way? It's
probably not. Only in Maharashtra. Probably only in
Shiv Sena has changed policy just to spite the BJP. So we win. We win through underground entry system.
You heard it here first, right, Cyrus? So
listen. So you're opening on Monday, right, Gauri? I mean,
yes,
we're recording this
fingers
Wednesday.
And toes crossed.
Okay, Gauri, crab cakes will be available?
Yes, sir, for you.
Crab cakes in the world, man.
No, so can you tell us now, when we enter your restaurant, if we enter table, so what is it? Kunal
You'll have a gun pointed at your head, obviously, and the most welcoming, hospitable way as soon as you enter.
Whatever you do to us at table, the government has done worse. Don't you worry. So what I mean is, the group, my group, Amit, me and Kunal are a group. We sit together in one table.
Yes.
There's no
question. So I mean, we've spread out the tables. We're going to have to take out a few of them.
Irony, take out the table from table. Oops.
Yeah, you'll have to lose the communal table.
So
right?
It's going to be you sit at two ends rather than at the whole thing.
Right.
But
if the communal table is used by the same group, then the same group has to watch for themselves. Or do you not believe that?
No, her communal table is used with the
theater and all that.
No, but it seats 13 people, so we can't really have that many at one table.
But this is a family of 13 who lives together, for example.
You keep ordering in then.
I hate this, man. There's too many restrictions.
So is that a thing? Do you have a limited party size?
What we would do probably in that situation is we would say, okay, we can anyway only seat 15 people upstairs, just take all of upstairs and contaminate all of that area.
Right. That makes sense.
So, I think, until we actually open and we kind of see what's happening.
You won't know.
We won't know. And then also this 33% capacity, I mean, it allows 27 people into our restaurant any given time. So
see, and the advantage that Udupi has over you guys is that you can't be rude to the customers because it's all about, it's all about that grace and, how are you going to correct them? You can't police them, right? In Udupi, you can.
You have to.
And also,
how do you police them?
A table experience is a 2-hour experience, an Udupi experience.
Exactly.
Are you assuming that we've never had a rude customer in the last 10 years?
No, I'm not talking about a rude customer, but I'm talking about the grey areas, so the guy's mask is off, but he'll put it back on.
Can you be rude? The question is, can you be rude?
Yeah, can you be rude?
Being a fancy restaurant.
Firmly polite.
Okay, I have a question.
How women rejected me all my life in that same smiley way? Like, no, not tonight. No. Maybe some other
Cyrus,
day.
you asked.
What about
Ass is not the worst word.
every restaurant hiring one COVID monitor? Okay? He's a guy in a suit who not only checks in the kitchen but also checks all the...
He's an actor who's pretending to check.
Yeah.
You give him a board, say COVID monitor.
Just make people feel more assured that everything is good and all that. So this guy in the astronaut. We had this on
in the kitchen.
Kunal on the Amazon set. We had all the sound guys in these astronaut outfits. I don't know if Baman told you, it was so funny.
So I haven't spoken to
because the guy would come, you couldn't hear what he was saying, but he was buried inside this plastic thing. And then this guy called Mehmood, who was the maid sound guy, I saw him without this thing at the end of the shoot. He was like 12 pounds. He was like the smallest elf ever. But you couldn't tell because he was buried under this plastic. Oh God, it was hilarious. Someone has to write.
But Cyrus, on your shoot, did you not have a COVID monitor? Somebody who's keeping an eye on everybody.
No, but they were constantly telling myself and Sunil Grover to put the mask on when we were out because we're the only two who don't wear masks. But the rest were all very well behaved.
You don't wear a mask?
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Yeah, and but the rest they were as cautious as you can get. That's what I'm telling you. The reality of when you do something as a group, after a couple of hours, it just gets more laxed. Yeah, you could notice that. And then your familiarity with the people who are policing it also, and they also get more laxed.
No. I don't think.
There's a certain complacency which I felt after day one. Which happened. I'm not saying. I'm just thinking human nature being what it is.
But it does happen, right? No matter where you look at it, it does happen. I mean, like you start being a little more casual about things. You start being a little more like, and you should, right? Because the thing is that, at some level, this entire thing is, we needed to have happen what happened, but it's overblown. At the end of it, Bombay has
anxiety. You want to get rid of that.
We have 20,000 infections in this city. In a city of 25 million people, we have 20,000 infections.
Including Goswami-itis.
That's a different infection.
No vaccine coming.
Not for that. Should we go into that?
Let's go into that.
But
can I ask a last question on restaurants, please?
Please.
So there are things you guys are going to do, okay? Things which are going to be hidden, but which are real, which is sanitization, washing hands, cleaning things, keeping things there. And there are other things that will be pure optics to keep the customer happy and not like the gun, okay? That gun is the most ridiculous thing because you can take one crocin and your fever can go. Yep. So you can be fully symptomatic.
Or just put the AC draft on your head completely as you enter. Yeah. It'll stay coolish for about 20 seconds. Yeah.
So, but you're going to be forced to do certain things purely for the optics of keeping the customers.
Just like the gloves, like you said, it's certain things that we just have to do because there are people who still believe in contact kind of the virus getting passed on like that. And honestly, it's nothing to us. So if it keeps the peace, then, so be it. We're in the business of hospitality.
God, imagine the rude customer reversal where he's more worried about himself and his safety and starts screaming at the management about, what is this? They are too close. Think about that. We haven't thought about that side, that perspective. Irate customers misbehaving.
I think that customer will not go to the restaurant side. It will take him a long time before.
Because he's doing it for validation in his group. Yeah, people just
but there'll only be about 3 people around to watch it, so it may not work.
Say that. You're sounding like our podcast. You do well.
You're rubbing off on me, Cyrus. No, it's just with the current restrictions, not because people aren't coming. I'm excited. Look, I'm excited.
My last question. This is a very...
You already had a last question. This is not a last question. Sorry, one of those Miss India women contest things which just goes on and on.
To recover 7 months of losses or to balance out less customers, are you making a price change in your menu?
Up or down?
Either way.
No. I mean, food still costs what it does. I still have staff to pay. I still have rents to.
Correct.
So if you're asking if we're going
How can they undercut themselves when their market is limited to 30 to 50%, which we may not even come to capacity?
No, and if you're asking if we'll increase it, no, we won't increase it, but there's absolutely no reason to reduce it because no cost has come down.
Reduce it, you might as well get free food.
Yeah,
It's just become one of those dharamsalas where you come and sit with just fancy furniture, nice paintings. Please make sure the quality of the food is bad then. I believe free food is a disease.
A question occurs to me in this context, right, a little bit. So one of the articles that we had, right, said something like out of the 15,000 odd restaurants in Bombay, only 3,000-4,000 will open. What do you think are the characteristics of the restaurants that are opening as opposed to ones which are not opening
Deeper
right
pockets?
now, right?
No,
Is that it? I don't know if that's it.
I think landlords have a big part to play in this. Those who survive so far are the ones who've managed to kind of get some kind of respite from the landlords, and those who haven't have probably already given up their space like in month 1 or 2. So, I think it's that. It's pretty much down to that.
What happened to your pal's restaurant? The Chinese restaurant at Parel, Amit?
So he's got some issues. He's
still floating?
Sort of, kind of, like barely managing.
I wanted to go there just before the lockdown.
He's got 12 or 14 restaurants, right? And so, he's got the same problem that Gauri was talking about, right? Yeah. Some landlords are being helpful, many landlords are not, and landlords where they're not being helpful. So even where the opportunity to open exists, they probably will consider not opening because if a landlord is being somewhat helpful, and then he says that your restaurant is open now, come back to normal rent, and at 30% you can't sustain it.
In such a case, the government has not looked at restaurants as, like a bank that needs to be helped.
Government, we're Atmanirbhar, dude. Everybody's Atmanirbhar. Right. I think the only people who are not Atmanirbhar are the largest of MSMEs. Right, basically, if you're so the large corporates are Atmanirbhar, small businesses are Atmanirbhar, but if you are that company which is not quite a 20,000 crore rupee company, but at the same time you are big enough to be 100 crore plus, then you are not necessarily Atmanirbhar. That's where all the benefit has gone in this whole.
I'll give you a simple example. I know a restaurant, a small fellow who runs a Malwani place at Dadar, okay? And he called me up saying, what shall I do? I'm screwed. So I said, so what is happening? He said, no, my landlord has given me a 50% discount, okay? 50% discount the landlord given me. I said, are you losing money on your takeaway? He says, no, I'm breaking even. I said, if you're breaking even...
Oh man, that's an achievement.
Breaking even is like super.
Breaking even is like laughing at the bank right now, honestly.
Yeah, because the landlord's given him 50%. His costs are low because he's a small restaurant, okay? His kitchen is running and he's doing takeaway. So he's saying, I'm breaking even on this whatever cost, So I said, you have no reason to complain. Don't you look for profits in this time? Yeah.
No, and I'll tell you what you can do. This is a tip from me because I'm very intelligent. Gauri, this is for you. You charge extra for water. I mentioned earlier, I hate water.
Actually, you did mention that.
I did, but we didn't use that take, so now I just want to mention it again. But why do people ask for water in restaurants? Drink your bloody water at home. You can get water at home. You're coming in.
I am putting it in your guest notes, Cyrus.
Peasant in glass.
Never ever serve
water, I can
Cyrus Brocha water in the restaurant.
Water is the one free thing at a restaurant.
That is not your guest note. Your guest note is please charge Cyrus.
Okay, so can I ask something? Would you now switch to drinking mineral water? Because
no, that's again like a race
This doesn't apply to you, Cyrus, because you don't drink water, period. But Amit, what about you?
Amit is a Diet Coke freak. Kunal is a water, really the other end of water love.
So you're a water ambassador, Kunal.
He's a water ambassador.
Switch to mineral water.
Carries his own portable toilet also because what goes in has to come out.
I would. I know every Sulam Sauchalaya.
He does.
Starting from Florida.
I'm like an encouraging mother. He does, Gauri. He really does. I'm so proud of him.
I always use mineral water as a safety issue more than a
because you're American
issue.
So Amit is raised in America, Gauri. I don't know if you know that. So he's got issues. All these, like my sister, when they come back here, even though they're born and bred here, they just won't drink the water for some reason.
Well, no, it depends on where you go, right? If I go to Gauri's restaurant, I don't get mineral water because it's precisely that, right? If I feel safe at the restaurant,
Gauri,
I'll drink their water. If I don't feel safe at the restaurant, I'll order mineral water.
May I just, sorry to segue, but my father refuses to go to your table for some reason. I asked him and he said, because it says table, where's the chair? So, I was like, that's not even 15 minutes in the making. God.
Amit, feel free to jump in.
There's nothing to jump in.
Why
with
did you
that.
mute in the middle, though? I'm a little worried. Were you on another podcast?
No, I have a
Personal issue.
7-year-old who is craving attention. I've had my half an hour off.
We'll finish fast.
Okay, let's quickly talk about this thing. The clubs are not very opening, man.
Yeah.
Your club's open, as far as I know.
Not
Yacht Club is
fully.
the only club.
It's fully open.
No.
So apparently the BCA is open. BCA is open.
Okay.
The BCA is open for whatever takeaway. Will Indian Club is not opening only to end
I think they only have the tennis courts open.
What do I have to do with tennis courts?
So they're not opening for food, but they're opening for other facilities, or they're not opening at all?
Outdoor sport they're open for. Golf and tennis is allowed. As is the Bombay Gymkhana tennis is allowed.
All the
but
same.
There's no F&B. CCI has F&B, the takeaway. But I don't think they're opening. They've not been allowed.
And
I read in the papers 2 days ago that they have not been allowed to open.
It's so unfair because the government didn't let us go and work, so you have no income. So the one thing you do is eat where you don't have to pay immediately, which was the club. They took that away from us. I love the fact that you don't pay immediately.
Hello, there are people who come to the restaurant who eat and then feel like they don't have to pay immediately. So,
What do you mean? So, have you ever allowed someone not
Does
to
that
pay?
happen?
How can that happen?
on occasion, yeah.
So like
what do
dine
they
and
say?
dash type thing, or
Plastic?
like basically,
Or
no,
even
I'm just not
plastic?
paying.
No, my mom will take care of it, and
What?
that happens when it
That
happens.
sounds like me.
Yeah.
Is this somebody
What do you mean your
whose
mom will
mom
take?
you
They're
know?
like kids. They're 20-year-olds,
It
18-year-olds.
just speaks about her clientele. They're all the high flyers whose mothers are celebrities.
Amit,
So that
it's like our
drops on the names and all.
podcast. We interview 10,000 people. We're going to get 5 choots. It's going to happen. Come on. If the doors are open, people come in and go out. Can't be responsible for every motherfucker who's ever lived. Sorry to use the French. Right. Next topic, Amit.
Next topic. Let's talk about. Maybe we take a break and then come back and talk about, because we got 2 nice juicy Arnab talkies too, which will let you do your impression in like as much ways as deeply as you want to. So maybe
India, we'll take a break. But we will come back. We will come back.
Hi, my name is Anupam Gupta. I'm B50 on Twitter. I am the host of Paisa Vaisa, the show that talks money. On my show, I speak to experts from every field of money and finance, from stock markets, equities, debt funds, credit cards, life insurance, every possible area of money and finance that you can think of. We even did an episode on cryptocurrency. I've got fantastic guests from mutual funds to personal finance experts everywhere. Robo-advisory, startups, just name it, we've got it. At Paisa Vaisa, we help you make smart decisions about money. You work hard for money. Now make your money work hard for you. New episodes out every Monday, and you can listen to my show on the IVM Podcast app or any other podcasting app that you have.
And
He
we're
does it
back.
in Hindi nowadays, huh?
No, he does 2 shows, Kunal. One is on an English channel, one is on a Hindi channel. So when he's in the Hindi channel, he's in Hindi. In the English channel, he's in English. They don't know how to explain the process. Although I must say, I like the fact that he's wearing that fractured hand thingy that he has to make him look like a victim. We have no idea how he...
Did the Bombay police beat him up? Man, he and Parambir Singh have become like hardcore enemies, right? It's like, they're like...
It's also the personal, the use of personal galis in a sense,
Yeah.
I mean, as much as you can use without using MCBC, which is where he's called Uddhav and Parambir cowards, disgrace to the uniform. These are very strong words. This is not just he's terrible or, he's not doing
he's screwed up in this. It's not that. It's not performance related. It's personal.
No, it's personal. He's used a personal tirade. And he's been very aggressive, even by his own standards. With Parambir Singh, I couldn't believe it was almost like he was attacking Pakistan again. It was that level of...
I was surprised. And I mean, like, again, I don't know him well, but he's a generally well-liked person, isn't he, Parambir Singh?
Yeah, but see, no, forget the issue aside, there's a certain decorum you think, and this is coming from me, on television, which you don't cross. The same thing with Donald Trump as a statesman. There's a decorum, there's a convention. You sort of stay in those lines. You can come right to the edge, but you don't cross it. But Arnab's language, usage, it's beyond derogatory. It's profane. You don't have to use MC and BC to be profane. This is as profane as you can get, calling someone a coward, not fit for the uniform, the disgrace to the country. What more do you want to say?
Yeah, no, I mean, like it's, it's the tonality of what they do. It's the tonality of what both them and Times Now does to an extent, right? Which I guess might be a reason why they have the lawsuit against them right now, which has come up, right?
But it's soft target Bollywood. Look, I'm no fan of Bollywood, generally speaking. I'm sure there's lots of crap going on there. It's not like there isn't. But there's soft targets. They're hardworking people, go to work, try to make a film, whatever. Why are you going after them? It's just ridiculous. We've got COVID going on. The restaurateurs are panicking. They have to let go of staff. We've got that immigrant issue, which is like genocide, which no one is even talking about, hidden in the past. And you've got two stories you want to highlight. Sushant Singh Rajput's murder, which is not. And now this. I mean, this is just ridiculous.
It's interesting. What do you think about the lawsuit? What are your thoughts on it?
I think they're desperate. They're really upset because they can't. They're all feeling really anxious. Because this guy's just going after everybody. He's like a loose cannon, man. He's like that fucker in the party, so drunk that he'll say anything to anyone, so you don't want him around you. He's like that. So everybody's really worried. Are you mentioned in the news for no reason whatsoever? Because let's face it, there is a little bit of drugs in Bollywood. Everybody does it. But then everybody does it in doctor society, engineer society, all successful societies in the Western world. So I don't know what the big deal is.
And the Indian world.
And the Indian world. I'm saying part of the same thing. So who are we kidding here? Politicians.
No, my question is different. Has the people of India taken their brains and put them aside?
Pretty much.
Why are they watching him?
He's hypnotized middle class India. My mother's community, he's just completely hypnotized them.
What about the people? Do you not have the understanding?
Kunal, he has a very good premise for everything. It's us and them. Yeah. He gets the viewer on his side and saying it's us against the might of them. Bollywood, the spoilt, group there. Everything it's like that. He's turned this UP rape into something else. Into Priyanka bashing. This is a young girl who's raped, dead, and humiliated. The parents not allowed to attend the thing while she was just taken off and burnt like that, cremated. It's crime after crime. It's horrific. Okay, the chief minister never mentioned it for 5 or 6 days. He just kept quiet, sat there, not knowing what to do. And this guy's perspective and spin on it all is totally different. First and foremost, it's a crime against humanity, the worst crime ever. A young girl being raped and murdered like that. Then there's the caste issue. Then there's humiliation to the parents. It just doesn't end. I don't know. I feel like migrating, man. But where to go because of COVID?
I do agree with Kunal that people have, you can't absolve people of the responsibility of tuning in. You don't have to tune in. But he does have this, like you said, this mesmerizing effect on people.
And he doesn't want you, Gauri. He doesn't want free-thinking individuals to watch him. Don't worry about it. There are lots of people who aren't. They're just happy to just listen, and then their own angst comes out in what he's saying, and you join the union sort of thing. So you feel Riya Chakraborty is some evil. Just a struggling actress. The relationship ended. There's nothing more to it. The guy obviously had some issues and unfortunately he passed away. Very sad story. But there's no murder. There's no evil mastermind sitting in China pressing buttons, causing all this to happen.
Cyrus, the irony is that there are a lot of well-educated, free-thinking people who
believe this.
Kunal's niece refuses to accept AIMS' forensic analysis. That's it. They're wrong. You can't say they're wrong. This is science. So they've said it's suicide. They've looked at the marks, ligatures, all that, and this is their conclusion.
No. This is what has happened to us, and I'm saying us. Okay, is that we have so divided into two parts that if you have decided that you're going to believe that this boy got murdered, then whatever proof comes out, whichever court tells you the honest truth, you are never going to believe it because you will always find an excuse to say, oh, but AIMS has been bought over. Oh, CBI is corrupt. Oh, that justice. Oh. So you've decided, and based on what? Based on one man's story.
No, but it's also that thing of that the more negative it is, the more you believe it, right? It's the same thing about crossing COVID through surface touching, right? It's that.
But how well he's done for the central government, distracting everybody with again, not to belittle the death, but in perspective of what's happening around the world, and in perspective of the other crimes that are happening in India, he's quietly made you just focus on something and just divert everybody's attention. It's like, I think he deserves an Oscar as an actor.
So I remember reading an article, I think I might have mentioned it here before, the amount of audience the English news channels are getting since they started covering Sushant's stuff is literally 8 times more than what the audience was pre-pandemic.
But according to the police report, six times of those 8 times don't know what the truth is.
We don't know. Also, 80,000 fake Twitter accounts.
Yeah.
So how much is all these numbers, growth numbers?
No. I believe the news has grown because of COVID. Everybody was watching the news. Kunal, come on. All of us are watching the news.
And
beyond us were watching the news.
And not everybody is...
they're looking for something other than COVID as news, right? And this provided that fodder. So I think that's,
And in our country, Bollywood, I mean, how can you go wrong? And then, of course, you bring down Bollywood. He wants to bring down all these big guys. I don't know why. Really, humanity's biggest crimes can't be Shah Rukh Khan and Deepika Padukone for
Khan.
Kangana's another story.
All I can say is last name is Khan.
Oh, that's one way of looking at it.
I mean, like, that's the only way of looking at it now at this point in time. I'm sorry, but I have no charitable interpretations of the way that...
Definitely a communal slant at the very least. My dogs are upset because you mentioned that. They're very touchy about communal issues. All right, calm down.
I don't completely agree with you. I still have hope that when it comes to... See, Bollywood has been the most secular place ever. Ever. Okay? I was talking to Cyrus yesterday also. Dilip Kumar was Yusuf Khan. Nobody even knew him nobody thought of him as a Hindu or a Muslim or a Christian or whatever. Yeah?
Also, all things are observed.
And I think even today, your biggest stars publicly, from Hindutva people to all people, they still like the Khans. So this whole thing about we will ban Bollywood, everybody goes to the TV in the evening and watches Bollywood only. Okay, so they can't get away with it. And I don't.
Yeah, but it's easy to spew hatred, and he's doing a good job of it.
See, it's about us versus them, right? I mean, like, see, where are these lessons coming from, if you will, right? These lessons are basically coming from the culture wars fought in America in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, right? That's where these lessons are coming from. At that point in time, what you do is you set up the elite, the people who you have no chance to participate in what they're doing. You set them up against the others, which is the mass of people that exist across the country. So you set up this us versus them dichotomy, which is a fake dichotomy. It's not a true dichotomy, but you set that up, and then that is what you're trying to do. And that's what you're trying to kind of this.
And the amazing part is that he himself is from the elite. All said and done, he's Oxford educated. He's from an IAS officer's background with a big bungalow somewhere in Guwahati and all that. So he's selling out to his own people. He's always very quick to attack the elite, to attack what he thinks is leftist. All these remnants are there in his entire family life and history. So it's ironic and it's ridiculous.
It's deeply cynical, right? I mean, like, because the thing is that it's very difficult to believe that he actually believes a lot of what he says.
That's what I'm saying. He's not dyed in the wool in that sense. It's more like an acting job, but a good one. You get into it. He's Marlon Brando. He's now going to give you, Mark Anthony like you've never seen before. Boom. So there's no doubt about that. And that's why I like the little thing he's put on his hand, the fractured thing. It's like it just makes you feel like the guy's hurt. That sense of hurt visually. Hand is always in camera and, always screaming and shouting with, they can kill me, they can break me, my spirit will live.
What do you think has really happened to him?
I think he was late for dinner and the wife just, wrung his hand. That's what happens with my house. Yeah. I called you twice. But the people wanted to. I don't care about the people. Just get up. Anyway, listen, Gauri has to leave. Her son's driving her mad. So we need to quickly get to the next topic.
Let's get to the AMAs. Let's
go.
Yeah,
AMAs, ask me anything. Amit Doshi is in the house as DJ, disco junkie. Oh, junkie is a bad word in India. Can't say that. Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another awesome week on the IVM Podcast Network. If you aren't following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And speaking of Instagram, Niharika Pandey joined Cyrus this week on Cyrus Says. Niharika is the strategic partner manager for Instagram India. Great conversation about the plans for Instagram in India. Karanjit Kaur joined the guys at Uncle Please Sit. Another really interesting conversation about the patriarchy. On Advertising is Dead, old friend Suchita Salwan showed up. Suchita is the founder of LBB. Great conversation she had with Varun. Definitely do check that out as well. Tanvi Lad, who is a nationally ranked badminton player, was on The Habit Code with Ashton Doctor. Great conversation. I would highly recommend that. The Football Shitwall guys are back. They've been back for a few weeks, but definitely do check out their latest episode. Great conversation they had. On Aditi Surana's Absolutely Right, Manju Sara Rajan was the guest, and again, a great conversation was to be had over there. As always, great conversations all across the board. Check out some of the other stuff like Smile India and Know Your Kanun and All Things Policy. All of them had fresh episodes this week, but with that, let's get you back to your show.
Follow me at Instagram and Twitter on Bored Brocha. I'm so bored, I need your help. I need your love. I need your touch. Okay, just follow me. We should have a test. Anybody, put your hand up if you ever had even a gram of marijuana in your entire life. I'm going to see how many people will leave the country because of that. It's just such a ridiculous concept. Oof. Hello, Gauri, of course, is saying no, but I know better. We have the same pusher, brother. Kulaba area. Ek hi aadmi hai na? It's all ilaka run.
Okay, all right. Let me see. I got this is from Arvind Datta. Hi, Cyrus, Antariksha, Amit, and guest of the day. Request you to wish my wife Just on her birthday, which is on October 30th. So happy birthday, Just.
Happy birthday, October 30th, Just. What a lovely day it is. 31st coming. Which one is Halloween?
Halloween's 31st October, isn't it?
Next one.
Next day.
Yeah.
So she's on Halloween Eve, I guess.
I'll dress as Ornob.
Let's see. We live in Seattle and your show keeps us connected to India, always giving a lighthearted take on issues, giving a sense of normalcy during these times. Before I used to listen to you during my commute to work, but post-COVID, work from home, my routine is to listen to your show while walking my dog Zaha during breaks.
Wow.
She is a 3-year-old. And what's a life hack that has improved your life? That's his question. So the rest of it was just fan service.
What's
a life hack that has improved your life?
Have you done this? Is this Sanskrit? What?
A life hack.
What's a life hack mean?
A life hack means.
We're not going in this now.
Like a trick.
Yeah, exactly.
Your life better.
My wife's shouting in the back. You don't want a life hack or wife hack?
You're going to get hacked.
Yeah, for sure. This time it's a murder, huh, guys? You go to Arnob, you give him the evidence. I'll name names.
Can you think of anything?
Amit, you answer it first, and I'll have a better understanding.
I don't know. I mean, like a life hack that I use on a regular basis. I got a webcam for my desktop after 6 months of lockdown because I was tired of opening my laptop up every day.
And that changed your life?
Well, it made my life a lot easier.
Well, that's like going to the bathroom and peeing. That makes my life easier. Is that the same thing?
It does, right? I mean, going in the bathroom and peeing wouldn't necessarily be a life hack. But if you found a way to stand on one leg and increase the...
you got yourself a bottle and you peed next to the bed.
Yeah, exactly. That's a life hack. Right? That's saving your life. But, Kunal, do you have anything from a life hack perspective?
Oh, life hack perspective? No, not really. No, I can't think of anything that I've done to make my life easier.
I do have a technique I use with the ladies, which would be safe to share now that she's in the bathroom. I like to call girls that I like by their surnames. I don't know why that used to happen, but it always worked better for some reason. It just created a familiar, suppose the girl's surname.
If you want them to be your bro, yeah, sure.
No, but Gauri, the thing is, no, you don't get it. I'm talking about you don't know them well enough at that point.
You don't even know my surname.
Devidayal. Oh, the married surname.
Yeah, exactly.
Your eldest sister was a head girl when I was in school.
Don't digress.
You were a footnote. You were just a footnote then. You were nothing.
And what was her
surname? You were this big shot.
Yeah, and what's her married surname?
Motwani.
Oh, okay, fine.
Pratish used to swim with us. Screw you guys, right? Devidayal, watch your mouth. So I like to use the surname. I always thought it would bring us closer. I'm not saying.
You're putting Kunal.
Like I used to call my wife Monani. Now she wants to go back to that. All right. Stop it. Will you? Ow! Who asked this question? Come out of class.
So Cyrus?
Yeah.
How many girls did you manage with that technique of yours?
No, the success failure rate, let's not get into. That's really not important. And it's, as they say, Olympics is the spirit of trying and participating. Aisha, what are you doing?
She's waving high.
She was an introvert. Now she waves to birds and stuff.
Where were you on the trek, by the way?
What trek?
That your wife and daughter were on last week.
I was stuck in some stupid house shooting some crappy thing somewhere in Afghanistan while my wife has a life of luxury in Alibag without a mask over. He was on the trek with you? Devidayal, she's right here. Oh, yeah. Okay.
I have to tell you this. So your daughter was there with a friend of hers on the trek.
Right.
And I was like, oh, did Cyrus have 2 kids? I didn't know that. But anyway, and then as I managed to catch up with her and past her, and I saw that she looks exactly like you, and I was like, okay, no, this one's the daughter. And I said, you must be Cyrus's daughter because you look exactly like him. And she gave me the biggest dirt I've got in a long time. Dude, I just sped off.
Gauri.
Ran for my life. And
What did you do?
I
With
know.
one knife, you cut three
But
people.
Gauri, are you sure you went and told Cyrus's daughter that or the other girl's dad?
Yeah, I mean, it was either way, I think it would have been.
Oh boy. These women in my house are militants. You have to be very careful.
Maybe you should try calling them by their last name.
Last name is the same name. It's confusing. Everybody responds.
All right. Okay. I got one more question. Yeah. Okay. So this is from Minit Shah. My boss sits right next to me and his mouth smells a lot. It's frankly unbearable. He doesn't wear a mask during office hours and I feel suffocated because I'm wearing a mask the entire time. I've hinted at him twice indirectly, but maybe he doesn't get it. And neither do I have the courage to tell him directly. How should I deal with this?
This is for Devidayal, if I may call her that, because I think in that business, you're going to have that all the time, right? People around you. I mean, it's a people business with people around you all the time, including customers.
What? Like having bad breath?
You're going to have it at some point.
So you know now why restaurants leave that like mint fresh.
Yeah, it's not a compliment.
It's not so you can pass your breathalyzer.
Is the fellow worried about COVID or the bad breath?
I think what he's saying is that because the guy doesn't
get a big bowl of like mouth freshener or mints and just like keep it on the
table.
But like everywhere, like put it in the bathroom, put it in the like near the coffee machine, put it on the desk.
It's a bit of a cultural thing because I notice on our shoots and all that in places like that, you know, how do I put this without sounding prejudicial? Less economically privileged people don't care about this at all. Well, lunchtime they eat lots of onions, garlic, whatever there is in the food. They don't think about these things. And then you go back into a small room and continue working, and 4 of them have consumed the worst, possible smells possible that will follow. But I don't know. I don't think in India we've ever thought that through.
I don't know.
Oh, you have like body odor issues here, big time.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Those are
body odor issues are not. I've got nothing to do with your economic.
Yes, doctor. Tell us what is it exactly?
Yeah. Eating, you may be careful about eating onions because you don't want your mouth to smell when you're going back into an air-conditioned room. Other people don't do it. But body odor is, unless it's not necessarily a hygiene issue. You can take pills for your body odor.
Yeah. Body odor is like a medical issue for the most part. If it gets to a point where it's, if it gets to a point where it is something that is actively discomforting over and over again, right? I mean, you might have met somebody after they went for a run or an exercise or something like that, and they might.
So in a way, COVID is teaching us good things. Stay away from people as much as possible, and we won't have these conversations ever again. Don't just keep 10 feet away. We should be good. Even, but in air conditioning.
I mean, isn't this why we moved the podcast to like this format rather than?
This is exactly all the women complained that.
I refuse to come into the studio with you, so.
I'm the only one who wants to go to the studio, but nobody's willing to come.
I want to go to the studio so badly.
Yeah. I like.
But why don't you?
How?
Keep it minimal and you start, no?
No, but I mean, the problem is that nobody wants to come to the studio first, right? I mean, like, employees, me and Cyrus can be there.
Forget the guests. Some guests will come. Employees don't want to come. What's he going to do? Yeah. And you can't even tell them, right? Once you start, you can't force them.
Also, see, the problem also is that the studio environment that we have is as bad a environment for the virus as could exist. It's a small, ventilated, fully air conditioned, where people are talking
and
loudly.
Long hours.
Yeah.
And people are talking loudly. Yeah.
And we're told to keep our mouths open for the most part, just as practice.
It's a bad environment in this situation. I want to go back. I'm sick of not going to.
I'll just say this, and I think Gauri's going to get into it now in the next week. Hopefully, business as usual sooner or later. It's a lovely feeling when you're back doing things. I hate working, but there's also that that therapeutic part to it. You just feel normal. We need that anxiety and stress of working and coming and going, whatever the problems are at your workplace. So I think that part. If we talk to you 1 week from now, Gauri, it'll be great. I think you'll just be feeling better about yourself. I don't know how to explain it. It's like an intangible thing, but you will.
I'm not bad at all, and I'm definitely excited about going back to work. And one other really interesting thing I've noticed is that people who've kind of like sheltered themselves and stayed isolated are now almost crippled and handicapped. Like they don't know how to take that first step.
They suck. Let's not hold back words. Let's do an Arnab on them. They absolutely suck. Fucking sissies. Enough of them. I can't leave the terrace. I can't go from the terrace anywhere. It's the only safe place. I can't bear those people. Really, honestly, sometimes fascism is the right way. You should why can't we just, cull some people? Why can't we? What's wrong with that? At least let's think about it. Don't throw it away, the thought. You just because they're not contributing to life. They want to just sit in a cocoon at home. So, what's the point? You might as well get rid of them. They're just holding up square areas of this earth, this lovely earth.
No, also, I'll tell you something, Cyrus. You and I were lucky because of the nature of our work. The show that we did was on a news channel, which was open as a...
Oh, I thought you meant prostitution.
No, that is that what?
It didn't make a difference. We had no clients before, we had no clients after. So what are you talking about? Don't act all, I'm Brad fucking Pitt. China is calling me. Nobody cares. Nobody wants you.
No.
And it's not body odor. Without body odor, they reject us.
So while there were no cars allowed on the road, we could get a pick up and a drop because it was essential services.
Correct.
And we managed to work through that whole that period. And it gave me such satisfaction to know, besides the money, of course, to know that you could get out, do some work and come back. It just felt you once a week also.
You live to tell the tale, more importantly.
So what difference? We'll get it. What can we do? How can you just sit at home and just die? Doesn't anyone think that through? You're just dying. You're just sitting there dying. God.
No, but we're getting there. We're getting there. 50% in restaurants, or 33% in restaurants this week.
And if that doesn't result in an escalation, then it'll get increased to 50%. So guys, stay safe.
Please stay. So bottom line, what we are saying is that everybody has to take care of themselves.
Who are you talking to? This is a podcast. You talk to me.
To people.
There's no people. This is not fucking Wankhede Stadium celebration where you're the president of the country talking.
Gauri.
No, you don't talk to her like that. You talk to her, you call her Devidayal, and you talk informally like I talk. What the hell are you doing? You're spoiling my show. Don't spoil my show.
Quiet silence.
Suddenly he talks to people. He's so pompous and bombastic, this fat fuck from hell. What the hell are you doing? It's an informal show. We just chat. Hey, people, guard yourselves. Stay safe. Don't die. But if you die, be poor. Because poor can die, rich should say safe. That's how he led this program. Did you not say that? Did you not say that when there were 7 hawkers on the road outside
you making up stories, Cyrus.
There were 7 hawkers, Gauri, lying because they had dug up the pavement. They were lying on the main road slightly. And he said, if I run over them, won't I make their lives better? Not with a trace of comedy. I just say their lives are such shit that it'll be better for them. This is that man, motherfucking Teresa. This is him.
I never said that.
Human kindness comes out of your anus. I want to see that.
Can you just edit me out of this entire show?
I'm sorry. You've been elegant and dignified with a lot of panache, and we spoiled it by bringing 3
The table just went to the stable.
There you go. See, you saved it with a nice line. Okay, guys, that's it. Kunal will be home at my house in 2 hours for dinner. Drive my family mad. And Gauri will be at the table soon. Trust me.
Better be.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye, Amit.
Bye, everybody.
All right. See ya.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay.
Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps, please. We beg you. We need you. Send us your questions on Twitter on Cyrus Says In. Or you can email us, even if you're not female, on whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
Do you wish you were smarter? Well, so do we. But the next best thing?
We could make you sound smarter.
And to help you with this endeavor, we are Simplified, a podcast that attempts to break down the complex world around you with a little knowledge, a lot of poor jokes, and a ton of random trivia.
Episodes out every Monday.
On the IVM podcast app or wherever you get your podcasts.
See ya!
Did I just catch you on your way to work? Or did you end up pulling an all-nighter? Let me guess. You have a packed schedule for the day, the week, and probably the month and the year. That's a lot for your mind to handle, don't you think? This buzzing chaos also brings tons of negative thoughts. Am I right? Try spinning that bottle in a positive direction with me, Chetna, on the Positively Unlimited podcast, every Monday on IBM Podcasts. It's time to change your life one alphabet at a time.